Hello there, Drew Hanish of Whiskey Lore, and time for another whiskey tasting. And today I am here to introduce you to one of my favorite looking bottles in the whiskey industry. This is a bottled in bond 4-year new Riff Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. No chill filtration, says so. It's even embossed in the bottle. Nicely, they put the mash bill on the side of this bottle or back of this bottle. It is 65% corn, 30% rye, and 5% malted barley, aged at least 4 years to be bottled in bond. You know you're getting quality. It is right there. And you know you're getting quality too because they are one of the distilleries like Chattanooga that I feel really pays attention to the beer that they make before they distill. And I think that really adds to the quality of the spirit. They are based in Newport, Kentucky. If you've never been to Newport, it's an interesting city, interesting past, mostly known for the brothel. Through the 18th or 19th century, it was a port city on the Ohio River, right across from Cincinnati, and it definitely had its seedy past. So that went all the way up through Prohibition, and then at Prohibition, the brothels were going crazy, as was the speakeasy activity, or blind tigers, as they called them in the South. And, it was just a place of vice for the longest time. But when you go now, you will see a distillery when you get there next to the Party Source, which is very good whiskey shop. I'd love to see the prices come down a little bit, but they have a really nice selection of whiskey in there. And in fact, I usually stop in and see what they have when I am in the area. I had gotten a bottle of this whiskey some time back. It was the small batch version. This is just their standard, which I think this runs around $45 a bottle. I don't remember how much I paid for it. It was few weeks ago, and I put it on the credit card. And sometimes you pay a little less attention as long as it's not an exorbitant figure that you are spending on a particular whiskey. The thing about this whiskey is it had for the longest time been very tough to find, not widely distributed. That is starting to change, and as that is starting to change, I think people are starting to wake up to how it's not just a pretty presentation. The whiskey inside of this glass is really, really solid. So 100 proof, 50 ABV has to be a bottled in bond. And on the nose, the first thing that stands out to me is, first of all, it is bursting with this fragrant scent of an herbal rye and caramel. Caramel is the first thing that hits me. A little vanilla. I get a little bit of, I get oak in there as well. So some aggressiveness in terms of the age on this one, or it's a bit older than 4 year. But the rye really stands out and is a nice herbally rye, which tells me that it's not an overly aged whiskey on top of that. Just really pleasant smell. First thing on the palate is just this rich toffee coming through. It's a medium mouthfeel. It's not heavy mouthfeel. Really nice flavors. Hard to believe it's a 100 proof whiskey, actually, in that it is easy to drink. And I got a mouthful of it and got the full flavor out of this thing. Some really nice flavors there on the finish. You get the rye, you get a little pepper note coming in. It's a little more aggressive the first sip. The second sip, it kind of tamps down a little bit. That toffee stays with you. And then, I don't know who makes them. I think maybe they're little beans. They're not an actual vanilla bean, but they are like little bean candies that you can get. That one of them, the one that is vanilla, when you bite into it, it's there. That is the flavor that really kind of lays on the palate at the end with a little bit of a toffee note. Marshmallow is another one that was really kind of an interesting flavor that I pulled out of this at my previous tasting of it. But really nice, good bit of complexity in there. It goes beyond what you would say is like your just straight ahead driver bourbon. It has some really interesting character to it, and I love the fact that they're doing a high rye on this whiskey. It's just a really, really nice whiskey. So there are stronger proofs. There are variations that they are doing with their mash bills. Lots of special releases that they do. But I'm telling you, their flagship is a really nice whiskey. They have a rye also. So definitely a distillery to keep your eye out for if you have not tasted anything from them in the past. They are one of those distilleries that is, I feel like so far everything I've tasted that's come out of there I've been very pleased with. And so you start to trust a distillery after a while and say, you know what, I think I would be safe picking up any of these bottles. And it's great when you get a distillery like that you can depend on to always be coming out with really good whiskeys. And so far I've been very happy about that. So definitely, if you're in the Cincinnati, Newport area, it's a place to stop off in. And it's a great area down there too, by the way. If you go over to Covington nearby, there's a couple distilleries over there. Pensive, you can check out. Second Sight, one of the most interesting looking pot stills you will ever see in your life there, that they had specially designed. And you can walk the bridge over to Cincinnati. It's actually really kind of cool. So hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give me a like. Subscribe if you'd like to watch more of these down the road. And until next time, cheers and Slainte. Nice little grain note in there too. Beautiful.